Alright, so last night I was scrolling through like Netflix and shit because I was trying to watch something. I was high as hell, you know. I was trying to go to sleep, probably watch some cartoons. But then I was scrolling and I seen some shit called like Flight 370 or some shit, and it was from Malaysia. And I guess the flight went missing mid-air. Nigga, what type of fucking earth is we on? So I like really want to get into this. So I found a video on YouTube and we about to watch this bitch. I'm so down to get into this motherfucker. This shit sound crazy. A flight that just vanished. At first I thought it was that 9/11 shit where that flight where like nobody found that one flight that crashed, but this motherfucker literally vanished mid-air, bro. Gotta watch it, bro. Gotta watch it. Wait, y'all niggas be eating seaweed and shit? Cause I do too.
Just let me know.
Just let me know. I'm chilling with my feet up on the bed and shit. I'm about to watch this motherfucker. Like I'm chilling. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, March 8th, 2014. This was this early? What? I'm saying early, but that was 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, bro. God damn. We really like, I'm getting old. That was 10 years ago, bruh. Damn. It's been 10 years, bro. I don't know what 20...
Malaysia 370, good morning. Malaysia 370, standby.
At Kuala Lumpur International Airport, a Boeing 777 is preparing for departure.
Malaysian 370, request level. 370, we are ready, requesting flight level 350 to Beijing.
They were supposed to go to Beijing.
Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 is a daily passenger flight between Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia and Beijing, China.
370
is it a daily flight?
Nice. That's alright, Malaysia 370, thank you.
42 minutes past midnight, Flight 370 is given clearance to depart. On board are Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, 10 cabin crew members, and 227 passengers.
God damn! And they all just gone. You know what's crazy? They are literally the only ones that know what happened to that plane. Like, if you really think about it, they are the only ones that happened to that plane, and they're probably not even alive no more, bro. That's crazy. I feel like one person survived, went through that shit, and then probably just killed himself. I probably would have killed myself too, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I just made that fake ass scenario up in my head. What the fuck?
Number control, Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, Lumpur radar, good morning, climb flight level 250. Morning, level 250.
Why they got levels and shit?
370.
This ain't no game.
Malaysian 370, climb flight level 350. Climb level 350, Malaysian 370.
Less than an hour into the flight, the plane is cruising over the South China Sea at an altitude of 35,000 feet. The night sky is clear and the weather is calm. Flight 370 is then instructed to signal air traffic control in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, as it is about to enter Vietnamese airspace. The flight controller in Kuala Lumpur says goodnight, with no sign that anything should be amiss.
Malaysian 370,
So everything was going good.
Malaysian
I feel
370.
like I should put this bitch right here.
Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
Good night. Good night.
1 minute and 43 seconds later, the aircraft suddenly vanish from radar screens at Kuala Lumpur, Ho Chi Minh, and Bangkok. This form of positional tracking depends on a signal being emitted by one of two transponders aboard the plane, and so its disappearance would suggest both transponders ceased to function, or the system was manually deactivated by someone on board. All subsequent attempts to contact and ascertain the whereabouts of Flight 370 are unsuccessful. The aircraft has seemingly vanished without a trace. After missing its scheduled time of arrival in Beijing some 4 hours later, Flight 370 is officially declared missing. And in the wake of that announcement, the most expensive search effort in aviation history is about to commence.
So it just shut down mid-air? Like, don't even make sense, bruh. You had some type of super villain. My bad, I just
The
muted the
search
mic.
was initially concentrated around the location of the flight's disappearance between the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand. The search area was soon expanded, however, after the Malaysian military disclosed additional information. Unlike the radar system employed by air traffic control, long-range military radar does not rely on transponders but use reflectance to track the position of aerial targets. A review of the data collected by the Malaysian military revealed that moments after contact with Flight 370 was lost, the aircraft had deviated from its scheduled flight path with a subtle turn to the right, followed by a prolonged turn to the left. The aircraft had then flown back towards and across the Malaysian peninsula before turning right near the island of Penang.
Whoever the fuck was flying that plane had a bitch to go see. And he fucked up. Whoever was flying that plane had a bitch to go see. And he got everybody killed. Why are you turning back around? He went off course crazy. For one, he said, let me go this way real quick. Nigga, like what? Oh my gosh, bro.
Maintained at this northwesterly heading until it escaped the radar's
How did they
cover.
know that it went up?
Over the
it
next
went
few
away?
days, the Strait of Malacca, the Andaman Sea, and the Bay of Bengal was scoured by a multinational fleet of aircraft and vessels.
That's too much
But there
water,
was no
bro.
trace of Flight 370.
I'm not flying over there.
Meanwhile, investigators began to analyze the aircraft's satellite communication records. Like all modern airliners, Flight 370 was equipped with a satellite communications terminal, or SATCOM, to send and receive transmissions to and from the ground. Prior to departure, the SATCOM terminal had logged onto the satellite network and established a connection with a ground station in Perth, Australia. That station then maintained a detailed record of all the incoming and outgoing traffic between it and Flight 370.
Okay,
This
so it
is
was
what
in
it
contact
contained.
with the ground, though.
Prior to the flight's disappearance over the South China Sea, everything appeared to be working as intended. Then, at some point during this portion of the flight, the SATCOM link was severed.
Damn.
For whatever reason, the terminal ceased to respond. But 3 minutes after the flight vanished over the Andaman Sea, the terminal requested to log back onto the network. The SATCOM link was successfully re-established and was not disrupted again until nearly 6 hours later, when the flight is presumed to have crashed due to fuel exhaustion.
What?
During these final hours, 2 attempts were made to contact the plane via satellite telephone. Both calls were acknowledged by the SATCOM terminal and would have been routed to the cockpit. Yet, they
Okay,
weren't.
so then, as I go through this, bitch, I'ma definitely pause so I can figure out if I'm really Batman and try to detective this shit. Did the nigga that was flying the plane, did he have a death wish? Because it seemed like it's just, or either, you know, terrorist attack, you know, somebody got hold of the cockpit and said, you know, I'm flying this bitch back home. Or did the nigga actually, like, just have a death wish and he just wanted to kill everybody? And he said, fuck that, we ain't going to Beijing today. We talking to God. Like, is that what was going through his head? Really?
Unanswered.
What the fuck?
The terminal had also responded to 5 automatic status requests. In short, if the ground station had not heard from the aircraft in over an hour, it would transmit a signal to confirm the terminal was still online. While these transmissions did not contain any information about the flight's position, investigators were able to measure the distance between the satellite and the aircraft at the time of each transmission, based on how long it took those transmissions to be sent and received. This generated 7 rings of possible locations from which 7 of these transmissions are thought to have originated. By taking fuel consumption, speed, and other factors into account, flight path analysis indicated the most probable origin of the final transmission to be somewhere along this arc in the southern Indian Ocean. The search effort shifted accordingly, and as the region fell within the jurisdiction of Australia, the Australian government took charge of the operation.
Nigga, they in the water,
Over the
bro.
next
They're
few weeks,
dead.
the
They're
search
gone.
area was progressively refined to account for oceanic drift as well as improved estimations of the flight path. But this part of the southern Indian Ocean is so remote it took 6 days just to get there. A new fleet of aircraft and vessels gradually covered more than 4.5 million square kilometers of ocean, but Flight 370 was nowhere to be found.
Bro, it's deep in the ocean, bro. This is damn near Titanic, bro. It's deep in there. You ain't finna find
If the
that
impact
shit.
with the ocean
we
had
did
been
find
sufficiently
Titanic. I'm dumb as
forceful,
hell.
it was possible the resulting sound had been recorded by underwater listening devices known as hydrophones. This possibility was investigated, and 4 hydroacoustic monitoring stations had recorded something.
Shit sound
While
like
the
water to
timing
me.
and direction of the sound were reasonably
fuck?
consistent with the final satellite transmission, the estimated origin was not. The sound was in all likelihood caused by nothing more than geological activity. Flight 370 was also equipped with 2 underwater locator beacons which had a battery life of some 40 days, and as the deadline approached in early April, signals with a pulse and frequency somewhat similar to the signal emitted by the beacons were detected at depths of up to 3,000 meters. An autonomous submersible then spent weeks scanning the seafloor where the signals had been detected, but no wreckage was ever found.
So they got all this
And nothing
equipment
would
and
be
shit,
found
and
until
they
more
can't
than
find it
16
at all.
months later, when a discovery was made on the opposite side of the Indian Ocean. On the 29th of July 2015, a group of people were cleaning up a beach in Reunion, a small island to the east of Madagascar, when they stumbled upon this 2-meter-long metallic object covered in barnacles. Aviation experts quickly identified the object as a section of an aircraft wing known as a flaperon. Upon closer inspection, internal markings including dates and serial numbers conclusively ascertained the flaperon belonged to Flight 370. Even though Reunion Island is some
What the fuck? So they did find it. Well, they didn't find the whole thing, but like that should literally tell you that them niggas is in the water, bro. Say goodbye. At least we know it ain't aliens. Unless the aliens is just smart and they somehow like put barnacles on that motherfucker and put it on the shore so people think that, you know, it's they in the water. But damn, they found it then. What the fuck was we still searching for? What's the mystery? They dead. They gone. Rest up.
4,000
What's the
kilometers
mystery?
west of
They
the
in the
search
water.
area, and more than a year had gone by since the flight disappeared. The location was consistent with simulations of debris dispersal patterns. There was now tangible evidence that Flight 370 had crashed somewhere in the Indian Ocean.
Damn.
The discovery of the flaperon prompted numerous searches along beaches and shorelines of southeastern Africa, and at least 31 additional items of interest have since been recovered and examined. Some of these items include a section of the outboard flap from the right wing, a piece of cowling from one of the 2 engines, a partial door from the nose landing gear,
Oh, so yeah, they did crash.
a section
then.
of the vertical
died.
stabilizer,
I should stop saying that.
and
Rest
a
in
mangled casing from one of the embedded headrest monitors. 18 of these items were identified as either likely, highly likely, or almost certain to have originated from Flight 370, whereas only 3 could be confirmed. The remaining 11 could not be identified. There were no traces of an explosion found on any of the debris tested, nor was there any evidence of a fire except for 3 small burn marks on one of the unidentifiable items. The search for debris was further aided by Earth observation satellites. Analyses of satellite imagery from March of 2014 uncovered a number of images which appear to feature man-made objects floating on or just below the surface in the southern Indian Ocean.
Damn.
However, the images were not nearly sharp enough to resolve any identifiable markings, and multiple searches notwithstanding, this debris was never recovered. A satellite image taken mere hours after the final transmission also captured what appeared to be a contrail some distance away from the search area.
Man,
later
y'all just
analysis-
looking at shit now, bro. There is no way. You see all these other lines and you want to pick out this one? Man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Let's be honest here. All these other lines right here, you say this line right here. Man, come on, bro. Are you fucking serious? But dude, I ain't gonna lie. I think I came to my conclusion already, bro. That nigga killed them, bro. I'm gonna be honest. The pilot dude, he killed him for sure. There's no other way. There's no other way unless there was a fucking terrorist on that plane and just, you know, put that bitch in the water. But that nigga said he would probably got in an argument with the other co-pilot, and you know he crashed out, literally. So if y'all on the plane and the co-pilots and shit start talking shit to each other, you might as well jump out the plane, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Analysis, however, conclude that it was most likely a shadow from a somewhat linear cloud formation. The underwater portion of the search continued for months and eventually years before it was finally suspended in early 2017, by which point some 120,000 square kilometers of seabed had been scrutinized. The search effort was then resumed by an American salvage company known as Ocean Infinity, but after more than a year of searching, they too came up empty-handed.
Damn.
Unless the final resting place of Flight 370 can be located, it may be impossible to determine exactly why it crashed. Nevertheless, there have been no shortage of theories.
I think my theory is the best theory. Niggas got in a fight, and he crashed out.
On the day of the disappearance, 2 of the passengers raised suspicion as they had boarded the flight with stolen passports, which immediately prompted concerns of a hijacking. But investigators were unable to link the 2 men to any terrorist organizations, and soon determined they had traveled under false identities because they were seeking asylum, not due to any nefarious intent. Similar suspicions were raised when one of the passengers were identified as a flight engineer, who might have possessed the necessary expertise to take control of a Boeing 777. Apart from the 239 persons on board, Flight 370 carried nearly 11 metric tons of cargo. Among the items listed on the flight manifest was a shipment of lithium-ion batteries, which led some to suspect a fire might have broken out mid-flight. For instance, the crash of UPS Airlines Flight 6 in September of 2010 was the result of a fire that was ignited by a pallet of lithium-ion batteries. Another potential source of ignition would be an electrical malfunction.
Y'all putting that on the plane?
The crash of Swiss Air Flight 111 in September of 1998 is thought to have been caused by a fire within the electrical wiring above the cockpit. The fire damaged and disabled multiple avionics systems, including the transponders and SATCOM.
Bro, you won't ever catch me on a plane, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Well, I took a plane once. I'm not doing it again, bro. I'm staying my ass in the United States of America, in California. I ain't going to no other state, bro. Say goodbye. Cause every time I watch something about planes, bro, it's just bad, bro. It's just scary, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. Bro, they putting lithium batteries on the shit when they know this shit can catch on fire and shit. Like, what are you doing, bro? You playing with my life. Are you serious? Get control of the cockpit. This shit over here electrical and electrocuting me, putting up smoke and shit. Like, I'm not getting in a dumbass plane no more, bro. It's too unsafe, bro. We not supposed to be in the air. Niggas went missing after one fucking flight, bro. They went missing. They went missing. They ain't going missing. They crashed in the goddamn, but still.
The sudden loss of communication and subsequent deviation from its scheduled flight path might have been a direct response to a fire. The 2 pilots may have turned back towards Malaysia to attempt an emergency landing at the nearest suitable airport.
Oh,
but
that makes sense.
No such attempt was ever made. Instead, Flight 370 kept going and remained aloft for another 6 hours.
Oh yeah, so no.
Some have theorized the crew might have been incapacitated by a sudden or gradual loss of cabin pressure. For instance, when Helios Airways Flight 522 failed to pressurize in August of 2005, the pilots quickly fell unconscious. Yet the aircraft continued to fly on autopilot for more than 2 hours until it ran out of fuel. Airline pilots are of course trained for such an event. In the event of cabin depressurization, an automatic system is designed to deploy oxygen masks to give the pilots enough time to perform an emergency descent to a more breathable altitude. The data recorded by the Malaysian military radar does indeed contain altitude information, but it is highly inconsistent. In fact, the Boeing 777 is incapable of performing the extreme altitude fluctuations recorded. At one point, the aircraft exceeded its maximum operating altitude by more than 15,000 feet, before making a 50,000 feet nosedive in less than a minute. Attempts to recreate these maneuvers on a flight simulator were unsuccessful, and thus the data was deemed inaccurate and unreliable. If Flight 370 did lose cabin pressure at 35,000 feet, and the pilots were incapacitated before descending to a more oxygenated altitude, it might explain why the aircraft remained aloft for as long as it did. What is a bit more difficult to explain, however, are these alterations.
Bro, this nigga thought he was in a game for real, bro. Like a simulator, dude. This nigga, it seemed like it's the first time ever flying a plane ever. Like, he was having too much fun or something. This is like a nigga that first gets his Hellcat. Like, he having too much fun. He might crash. Yo, what is wrong with this nigga, dude? Hold up. I gotta turn off the camera real quick. Okay, I turned it back on. Bro, what the fuck is going on?
Flight simulations have established the aircraft must have been under manual control during the initial left turn, as the bank angle or inclination of that turn was beyond the limits of the autopilot. Subsequent turns, however, could have been either manual or automatic. But for the autopilot to have made these course corrections, someone with the requisite knowledge must have programmed it to do so. The only other alternative is that the aircraft was in fact under manual control.
So is nobody talking about the pilot? But so it's just not the pilot's fault? Like, what? This is obviously the pilot. It's obviously the pilot.
In late June of 2014, several news outlets reported that a special investigation had identified the captain of Flight 370 as a prime suspect. A search of the captain's home had uncovered a flight simulator which supposedly contained a suspicious route which ended in the southern Indian Ocean. At the time, there was no official acknowledgement that such a route had been recovered, and a lengthy public report issued by the Malaysian government in 2015 made no mention of such a discovery. Then, in 2016, confidential documents pertaining to a forensic examination conducted by the Royal Malaysia Police in May of 2014 was leaked to the media. These documents made it clear that such a route had not only been recovered, but thoroughly examined. Soon thereafter, the Malaysian government confirmed the existence of this simulated flight path, and this is what it looks like. It should come as no surprise that many regard this as damning evidence of premeditation, but according to investigators, it is not quite so evident. The data recovered consists of 7 coordinates, 2 in Kuala Lumpur, 2 in the Strait of Malacca, 1 in the Bay of Bengal, and 2 in the southern Indian Ocean. The data was reconstructed from a file that had been automatically generated and saved by the simulation software a month before the incident. However, it's not clear whether the coordinates originate from the same flight session. In other words, it might not be correct to simply trace a continuous line between these 7 coordinates, as they could be from separate sessions. The forensic examination by the Royal Malaysia Police simply concluded no activity captured conclusively indicate any kind of premeditated act pertaining to the incident of MH370. Even so, the similarities between the simulated route and the presumed route of Flight 370 directly influenced the search operation.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Before I ever get on a plane, bro, next time I get on another plane, I'm going straight to the motherfucking cockpit. I'm going to ask about the pilot's background. I'm going to ask about his life. I'm going to ask if he got kids. If he don't got kids, I'm hopping off the bitch, for one. Without a doubt. If he don't got kids, say goodbye, nigga. I'm going straight back home. I'm asking what his income looking like. Like, what his house looking like. I'm making sure his life is good. If his life is bad, say goodbye, bro. Say goodbye. If this nigga having a rough day, you can have a rough day with the other passengers, nigga. I'm gonna go ahead and wait until Betty hop in the cockpit. Hell no, y'all niggas tripping, bro. Y'all putting y'all life in these weird old niggas' hands, bro. And you don't even know these niggas, bro. Like, that's why I'll never hop in the Uber. Like, bro. Man, oh my gosh.
Investigators consider the possibility of someone deliberately extending the range of the flight by gliding the aircraft off the fuel exhaustion. If so, the plane could have traveled an additional 200 kilometers. Alternatively, the range could have been reduced by a controlled ditching prior to fuel exhaustion. While ultimately deemed unlikely, these two scenarios did affect the search effort. If the captain steered Flight 370 off course with the intention of crashing in a remote part of the southern Indian Ocean, his motive is an even greater mystery.
Yeah, like
Zahari
why?
Ahmad Shah was 53 and married with 3 children. He had more than 18,000 hours of flight experience and a spotless track record. Investigators found no evidence of financial issues, and his monthly expenses before the disappearance indicated nothing unusual.
Okay, see, now, I mean, it proved that he has a good life. No family stress. See, now you just don't know. See, now it's just where it's like, damn, do I really gotta judge you off your appearance? Now it's to that point. Like, I wasn't gonna judge you off your appearance, but now seeing what you look like, you know, I kind of gotta judge. But he just proved everything that I just said was wrong. Well, right. Like, you know, he has a good family, kids, but like, what is going through the nigga brain, bro? That's something you will never know. What is going on inside this dude's brain, bro?
He had no history of mental illness, nor had he displayed any recent changes in lifestyle or behavior.
Damn, so what about
the co-pilot? He was raised on the island of Penang, which has led some to speculate the flight's second turn to the southwest of Penang was the captain getting a final view of his hometown. Some believe a hijacking could have been politically motivated, as Zaharie was an avid supporter of a democratic opposition leader who was sentenced to 5 years in prison mere hours before Flight 370 took off. Others point to unconfirmed reports of marital issues, but this is contradicted by the official investigation and disputed by family members. The only real inconsistency noted by the final report is that the captain failed to repeat the assigned radio frequency during the last verbal communication.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
It would have been standard procedure to repeat the assigned frequency as the captain had correctly done a few minutes prior.
370, contact Lampu Radar 1326, good night.
Alright, 1326 Malaysian 370.
Whether this omission is indicative of anything but a mistake is anyone's best guess.
Damn,
by all accounts,
bruh.
Captain
See,
Zaharie was an affable
know.
and well-respected pilot who was passionate about aviation, as evident by the photos and videos he shared on social media.
Hi everyone, this is a YouTube video that I made as a community service after learning.
The co-pilot was found to be even less conspicuous. Farik Abdul Hamid was only 27 and due to marry a fellow pilot. He had nearly 3,000 hours of flight experience, although only 39 hours in this type of aircraft. Much like Zaharie, Farik had no financial, mental or interpersonal issues of note,
had no kids,
nor
though.
was there any evidence of conflict between the two of them. Some questioned the plausibility of a pilot-instigated hijacking due to the apparent lack of interference by the other pilot. Well, when Ethiopian Airlines Flight 702 was hijacked by the co-pilot in February of 2014, he did so by merely waiting for the captain to take a bathroom break before locking the cockpit door behind him.
Damn.
The co-pilot was then free to divert the Italy-bound flight to Switzerland to seek asylum. The only noteworthy piece of evidence in regards to the co-pilot of Flight 370 is his phone. You see, when the confidential documents were leaked, they also confirmed another long-circulated rumor, namely that a cell phone tower had briefly established a connection with an iPhone 5S belonging to the co-pilot as Flight 370 approached the island of Penang. According to investigators, it was not a phone call as has been widely reported by the media, but merely an automatic location signal. Why this information was omitted from public reports, we may never know.
What?
So what is one to make of all of this? On the one hand, the simulated
Bro.
flight path.
What do y'all niggas make of this shit? This is really a mystery now, bro. Because I thought I had it down, bro. I thought the pilot was probably just a fucked up nigga, you know, he just had shit going on in his life and he was done with it. And decided to take everybody else with him. But it don't seem like that no more. There's no way, there's nothing wrong with you at all. You do nothing wrong in your life, you love your job, and you just decide to crash in the Indian Ocean. Like, what type of sense does that make, bro? There's no way. So now I'm on the co-pilot ass, nigga. What's up with you, bro? You ain't even got no kids. Why you contacting the satellite and shit? Shit, it might be a hijacking now. I ain't gonna lie. It might be a hijacking. It might be a hijacking, bro. No cap. It could definitely be hijacking, bro.
Seems suspicious. On the other, it is difficult to cast any substantial doubt on either of the two pilots' character. It is equally difficult to deny a hijacking is consistent with the available evidence. Then again, we're missing some quite major and literal pieces of evidence.
Literally, bro.
The final report issued by the Malaysian government in 2018 could not attribute the loss of communication nor diversion of Flight 370 to a malfunction. Instead, it is believed that someone manually manipulated the aircraft and its systems. For instance, investigators believe SATCOM was manually disabled by a sudden and prolonged interruption of power. Then, once power was restored, the terminal simply rebooted. Likewise, the alterations in heading are believed to be the result of manual inputs. With that being said, the uncertainty of these findings are repeatedly emphasized due to the limited evidence available, and the report does never explicitly state the flight was hijacked. In fact, no real conclusion is reached.
Damn, bro.
Both the Malaysian and Australian
So it's
government
really a
agreed that
mystery.
Flight 370 crashed in the southern Indian Ocean, but that the cause is indeterminable without the wreckage, the location of which has managed to elude some of the foremost aviation experts in the world, as well as an impressive arsenal of cutting-edge technology for more than half a decade. Authors, aviation experts, and independent investigators have all chimed in to offer their own thoughts and theories as to the nature of the crash and the location of the
Shit, I
wreckage.
don't know what they
Some believe there was no crash, but that the aircraft was shot down by an American naval base in the middle of the Indian Ocean. The satellite transmissions were then supposedly forged as part of a massive cover-up. Others believe the aircraft turned right towards India and traveled as far north as Kazakhstan, completely undetected. Debris was then supposedly planted along shorelines of southeastern Africa as part of a massive cover-up. Another theory
Come on,
suggests the
bro.
aircraft
Really?
was remotely hijacked and controlled by someone on the ground. While Boeing and other companies have experimented with technology that would allow for an aircraft to be remotely controlled, no commercial airliner is
Why
known to
would
be
they
outfitted
do
with
that?
such a system.
Why do y'all want y'all fucking... Yo, I don't get this earth, bro. I don't really think I'm supposed to be here, bro. Like, I don't get this earth, bro. I might be an alien, dude. Why would they want to remotely control... Why would they let people remotely control a fucking plane? I can see why they want to do it. Because, like, just in case, you feel me? But now you got other people in the world that hate planes. So they gonna try to shoot you down and shit and remote control that bitch and crash it. Bro, what? I think that's one of the dumbest ideas ever, bro. Like, no cap.
On the less conspiratorial side, the assumption that Flight 370 flew in a straight line and at a constant speed after turning left towards the southern Indian Ocean might simply be incorrect. In early 2018, a French team of independent investigators proposed an alternate flight path, whereby an attempted landing on Christmas Island led to a crash site much further north than the region identified by the official investigation.
Niggas just be making up shit.
While a surface search of this area was conducted about a week after the disappearance, the underwater phase never reached this far north.
What you mean? What you mean?
As of the making of this video, the search operation has been suspended,
What
but
you
there have
mean?
been talks of potentially resuming the search. For now, it seems, the vanishing of Flight
Bro,
370
nah, it's been 10 years. I don't think they searching for that bitch anymore. I don't think they searching for that bitch anymore. It's been 10 years. We seen, bro, there was shit in the ocean, though. I don't get it. I think, you know, it probably got hijacked and just put in the ocean, bro. But, I mean, they ain't seen that shit, like, but there was, like, bits and pieces, right? To be honest, that's enough for me, bro. Shit. If I see bits and pieces, bro, I'm knowing that they gone. That's enough for me. What y'all niggas think, bro? Because that shit is like way crazy, man. That is wild, bro. Like, realistically, think of it. They are the only ones that know what happened to that plane, bro. If it did crash and burn, like with just the people in the plane, the co-pilot, you know, did his thing. But if that bitch actually did get shot down or something, that's crazy. But I feel like people would have seen some big ass missile in the sky coming towards a goddamn plane, bro. I feel like somebody would have seen that. For me, I'm gonna stick with my theory. Even though he has a good family and shit, he had money and all that, I'ma still think I think it was him. Cause you never know what be going through people's mind, bro. He was 53 years old. He lived enough life. Sorry, bro. But yeah, I think he did it. I ain't gonna lie. I think he took him out. But let me know what y'all niggas think. Love you, bro.